Hello, hello, hello. If you landed here, you landed on Let's Talk News, and I'm your host, Leticia Remauro. And I can't believe I'm sitting here in a sweater. Um, we're in South Carolina, and today our heat index was 113 degrees. And I was out in the garden playing all day. And for some reason, now I have a chill. So I possibly heat exhaustion, lost a lot of water. I don't know. But I'm here and I'm excited because we are going to be talking about Trump's NATO trip. Some people pissed him off. Some actually got in his good graces. And we're going to learn all about that tonight. But we have our friend from the other side of the world, but the same side of the issues, Kevin Wall. And in response to who did Trump piss off, or who pissed Trump off, or who didn't, Kevin says, with Australia's far left woke government, we are losing a bit of ground with America's trust, but have enough history and war to stay above water at this time. And that is true. America loves the Australians. We just do. The country has changed from an outsider's perspective, right? When I thought of Australia, I thought of tough people. I thought of farmers and cattle ranchers and men who wrestled crocodiles. I thought of tough negotiators and people who could weather, quite literally, any kind of condition. I always thought of Australians as being like the salt of the earth, the people you could depend on, both men and women. I've always thought of them as being strong and strong-willed and focused. And all of a sudden, I don't know if it was only after COVID or even before, it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. It feels like government officials are a bit paranoid and authoritarian, kind of socialist. So I don't know. I mean, that's why we have Kevin here to help us out and tell us what's going on over there. But really important. I mean, Australia is an important country and a good ally for us. Hi, Francine. Good to have you. Hi, Andrew Dorman. Aloha, Santillian. We've missed you. I'm hoping that you're well. Hi, Angela Rick. I missed you too. And Karen, good to have you. And the professor and the other Kevin from right here on this side of the earth and the same side of the issues. Good to have you all with us. So anyway, Trump went over and met with the NATO allies, and he had plenty to say. I don't know where to start. Hello, Ramon. Oh, good. So Ramon was in Washington, D.C. Ramon, what did you do there? What were you doing in D.C.? I'm interested in knowing. Yeah, is anybody else planning to visit D.C. for its 250th anniversary? I'm going to, I think we're planning a trip to Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm sorry, Charlottesville, North Carolina, and possibly a swing through of DC. Just not sure yet. I definitely want to do it before Trump leaves office because it looks great, and I want to go see my political goddaughter, Nicole. So it would be great to visit DC when my current congressman and my former congresswoman and the president is all in town. So I'm hoping that I can get that done before the year is out. But what did you do in DC, Ramon? Did you visit any of the museums? Did you visit the new outdoor spaces that Trump cleaned up? Did you look at the reflecting pool and take any photos? I'm interested. Okay. Anyway, so let's listen. Let's listen to Canada's Prime Minister Carney Let's listen to him eat a little crow when it comes to Donald Trump. We know he was a severe critic of Trump, had tough words for Trump coming in. When he was running, he was an anti-Trumper. But today, during the NATO summit, he had to eat some crow and admit that Trump has been right about NATO. Listen.
Is looking for a shift of the burden within NATO. That's appropriate. That is happening. That's gaining momentum. As part of the point I made to President Trump when we spoke a few days ago, is that it's not just he's winning the argument, he's won the argument. Countries recognize that they need to take more responsibility, see the direct threats. Now, the question for NATO, and part of what we will discuss and part of the point I will make in the room with my 3.5 minutes of time, so which is about a quarter of the length of my normal answer, I know, so I apologize. Is that those shifting burdens are going to be, in our view, most effectively done, obviously with greater capacity. We have to spend more, we have to build these capacities, that's what we're doing, but in ways that recognize the regions in which we operate. So for Canada, North America, obviously, up until now, NATO has said, well, North American security, that's your problem. Well, North American security, and particularly Arctic security, and remind everybody that we've got 15% of the world's coastline. Arctic security is not a flank; it's a front. With the shift in the threats, and Russia is a direct adversary. So spending there and coordinating, not just Canada, but Canada, the Nordics, Canada, Germany, Canada, France, Canada, the Baltics, that crescent is vital for NATO. So that's where the discussion, in our judgment, needs to go.
Very interesting that he's suddenly come around and is, pushing for NATO to spend in Canada. He's absolutely right. The thing is that Canada barely spends any money on its own borders or its own protection. America is spending most of the money. Canada has been resting on its laurels, and we have been, the bear in the backyard for them. So very, very interesting, though, that carney of all the people coming out saying Trump won the argument. And to me, it's a good sign, because hemispherically, it's good if North America, South America align. And I know it's never going to happen that South America aligns with America altogether, although we're seeing huge movement in Venezuela. We are seeing that they are recognizing the power that America has, spending power and economic power that could benefit them. And that's what Trump uses in these negotiations. He uses the economic buying power of the United States. And you're going to see that in a minute in some clips. But, Venezuela came around. I mean, when Maduro was in power, there were no conversations with the United States. It was all with Russia and China. And now they're happily allying with us because they're making money, and the people are making money. It's not, it's not just the authoritarian regime. It's the people that's making money. So the freedom is creeping in Venezuela. It's not totally there, but it's creeping in. Cuba, is still, they're holding out, and I think it's to their detriment. It's kind of stupid. Ramon went to the Capitol and House of Representatives and the Library of Congress. Yes, when you go there, you think that the floor is really, really big, or when you see the State of the Union address, you think that that's a really big place, and it's really not. The Capitol is not that big. we talked about the history of America, and we talked about the fact that James Madison was 5'4" and 100 pounds. People were smaller when the Capitol was built. This is the second Capitol, but they didn't expand the footprint. And that's why when you see these landmarks and you see how small they are, then you can understand Trump wanting to expand the ballroom, because the place where our constitutional republic moves and grooves every day, pushing forth freedom for 330 million people in America, and also trying to ensure that people around the world are free. Very, very small, tiny places. And when you consider that the average man now in America is about 6'2", we need bigger space, and we need better space, and we need a space that is secure, because we have far more enemies now than we ever did before. We have far more allies, but our allies don't seem to do very much for us these days. Hello, Lucille Chavon. Good to have you. Ramon says the White House is gated like a fortress because of MAGA-phobic losers were shooting the area and caused a lockdown. Oh, that's too bad. Hi, Gloria. Good to have you. Ramon went to the American State Fair. Florida's booth has a very long line. I visited the booth of my former home state, New Jersey, which I thank Cape May County for representing New Jersey and Washington. Oh, that's good. I love Cape May. Cape May is beautiful. Hello, Gary. I am fantastic. I hope you are too. Ramon went to the Pennsylvania booth, and the line is long, which I thank you as Senators Dave McCormick and John Fetterman. Also to the people who participated. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the fair. So that's good. Puerto Rico also had a booth. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Santillion says our state capitol building here in Honolulu is square, 4-story, boring building. Interesting. Well, that was the style, right? When Honolulu became a state, Hawaii became a state in the 50s. Wasn't that like, the contemporary look, squares, geometrics? Yeah, I think that in general, our landmarks are small. When you look at Federal Hall in New York, the first Capitol building, it's small, very, very small. Same thing with in Philadelphia, where they signed the Constitution. Tiny. Tiny. People have bigger kitchens than that room. And that's where our founding fathers gathered to create a country. Really interesting. Ramon says the water around it has been boarded up. Too many homeless taking baths in it. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong. Hold on. It was Santillion said the water around their Honolulu Capitol building was boarded up because too many homeless taking baths in it. Well, that's what was going on in Washington, D.C. And it's just a shame that Hawaii is not. It's a shame. It's a shame any state doesn't understand how powerful they could be and how great their economy can be, and how much their tourism would go up if they just allowed worked with Trump on reducing crime. Ramon says there was a long line at New York's booth, which nearly matches Florida's line. That's interesting, and that's good to hear. Antoinette Balzano, so happy to see you. I'm missing you too, but I'm not missing living in New York. I've been back enough times to know that I'm Southern now. I'm a Southern belle now at Antoinette, but you know how beautiful it is down here. But thank you for stopping in. I'm so glad that you're with us tonight. Okay, so we're already halfway through the show, and I haven't even gotten to Trump's lambasting. Okay, let's start with him discussing how NATO let us down.
And I want to thank Mark. He's been a great Secretary General of NATO. I'm not happy with NATO because of what they did with Greenland. And I'm not happy with NATO because of the fact that they didn't want to help us with the number one state sponsor of terror. That's Iran. They were unwilling to help us. Now, in all fairness, I didn't speak to Mark about it. I think if I did, it might have been different. But we didn't need help. But I was really testing. I wanted to see whether or not they'd be there. And the answer is they were. I spoke to Germany. I spoke to France. Spoke to UK. Spoke to Italy. I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it off. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate. They don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figured they have to protect us, right? But we don't have to, and we don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right?
Yes,
take it immediately. Don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people, because they have everybody else going and paying and working. In Spain, in particular Spain, there are a couple of others, but in particular Spain, they're open about it. They're hostile about it, and let's see how hostile they remain when they call up and they, please, we want to trade with you, sir. We want to trade with you, sir. They make so much money with us, and we're going to see that they make a lot less. I want no business with them.
I love how he just decides to make policy right there. You know what? Fuck Spain. We're not giving you any money. Because we're hanging out with Venezuela now, so we don't need Spain. He just makes policy right there, at a press conference. And that's what I love about him. He's decisive. He does what he has to do. He's decisive. And that's what a president ought to be. The professor says today, July 8th, was the public reading of the Declaration of Independence. And I know that there are elected officials throughout New York. I don't know if there were any down here. I'm sure there are, but elected officials who were doing public readings of the Declaration. I know that there were some in Queens in particular, which was interesting. But tomorrow on the 9th is when George Washington did the reading in New York. Very interesting bits of history. This was an exciting time in 1776, and it's an exciting time now. Ramon says that they gave those blue governors and elected officials who tried to skip the fair the middle finger. Yeah, well, it's good. It's good that they did, because you know what? I've had it up to here. With this Trump derangement syndrome. I can't anymore. And the people that are playing into it, I think they're just weak-minded people. And I can't be bothered with it. And Antoinette says, but you left forever memories and so much good work for so many. Oh, thank you, Antoinette. As do you. We both did for our community. We did what we could. And I don't know if there would be forever memories, but we did what we could. It was Joe Borelli who said at his inauguration speech, he was talking about a little known assemblyman who, oh God, now I've got to think of the name of the street. Well, anyway, from Staten Island, who ran for governor of the state of New York, and he lost. And when he said the name, nobody knew who he was. And he said, 100 years ago, he was all that, and now he's nobody. So we make our mark for a short period of time. Not all of us are memorialized forever, but we don't do it to be memorialized. We do it because we're community members and we do it in service. So you did great service, Antoinette, especially for the disabled children. And I and my family will always remember what you did for Robert. So we appreciate you. Ramon says NATO are supposed to stop the terrorist activities in Europe instead of depending on the United States to stop the attack. So Trump is correct and NATO must take responsibility. Well, I agree. He is absolutely correct. I think that he's right. Fuck Spain. Gary agrees. Santillian says Spain is in huge trouble. Sal, good to have you. Grandpa, Plattner just jumped out of the race. Oh, well, that's good. He really didn't have, well, he kind of did have a choice because he had the Democrat Party by the short hairs. But, one of the things that we talked about him yesterday, but one of the things that we didn't talk about, and I will take a minute to switch gears here, is Fifield. The New York Times did the story on Fifield before what's her name came out. Well, oh God, now I forgot her name. Rakotzik or whatever came out yesterday. The one that said he raped her, but Fifield was the one who said that he locked her in a room and twisted her arms. And the New York Times said that they couldn't corroborate her story. She gave the Times 5 names, said that 2 could corroborate the timeline of her dating, and the other 3 were people who could corroborate the fact that it happened because she told them that. And the Times only contacted the 2 who could do the timeline. So she and the other one, the one that claimed rape, Wojtowicz. I'm doing that from memory. Sorry, and my memory is not great. She said that she had to come forward because when she saw that Fifield, that the Times did not take Fifield seriously, she felt she had to come forward and make sure that people knew what Graham Plattner was and did. But isn't it interesting that the New York Times was willing to play cover-up? The New York Times, who's supposed to, the facts, the gray lady who doesn't, mince words. Well, guess what? Who doesn't take sides, doesn't have opinions, doesn't slant stories, just reports the facts. Well, they did a disservice to the people of Maine because the story came out just before the election and the Times buried it. So interesting stuff. Ramon says, bad move for Spain. They'll bend the knee to Trump. Just give it time. Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, everybody is going to bend the knee. But, what good is it when you don't need them? I don't think he's ever going to forget. And I will never forget this whole Greenland thing, that everybody got balls to try and come against us to protect Greenland against our incursion. Fuck that shit. Because at the end of the day, they don't breathe without us. Let them all cough up the money. Let's see what happens. You know what? I think that Trump should say, listen, at least I got them all to cough in the money, and we don't need to. We're going to protect ourselves. And that's what everybody's been wanting forever, right? All the money out of NATO and all the money out of Europe. So why the fuck not? We don't need all this shit. We really don't. We should also walk away from fucking Hormuz. Who cares? We should make sure that that no nuclear weapon. But screw this Hormuz shit. I mean, we have our own gas. We don't need their gas. Santillian, every elected official here did not care about our 4th of July. No mention of it. It's disgusting. It really is sad. It's really sad. I mean, Hawaii was always separatist. It feels to me almost like Hawaii never wanted to be part of America. I don't know if that's true or not. It's what feels to me, and I've never done enough investigating of Hawaii to know. I know that Alaska wanted to be part of, but they still want to stand apart. People who live in Alaska don't want part of they don't even want to be involved in society, most of them. So, Stephen Plotkin, Graham Plattner just dropped out of the Senate race. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate that. That you would fill us in like that. And now, yesterday we talked about the 4 that might take his place. And, I think it's between the guy that ran for governor and the small business owner, the beer guy. Let's see. I mean, I don't see them running the secretary. What's her name? I don't see them running the woman, and I don't see them running the gay guy. I see them running one of the tough guys, right? The soldiers, the business owners. That's who I think they're going to run. But I think that the damage is done. I think that Collins is going to be okay. That's my 2 cents. Gloria said, Ma'am Dummy went to Katz's Deli with protesters for lunch. They gave him a free sandwich and banned him from coming in again unless he leaves the protests out of the restaurant. I heard that, but it doesn't make sense to me. Why would protesters why would anti-Jewish protesters, right? Pro-Iran, anti-Zionists, why would they want to give money to Katz's Deli? My husband told me the same thing. I'm taking that one with a grain of salt. But thank you for reporting it. I appreciate it. Robert Santillian, dangerous when angry. Normally we get a flyover of planes from Hickam, fireworks from Pearl Harbor, all shut down. It's amazing. It's amazing how states feel like it's their duty to protest America because Trump is the president. Then you're protesting. You only like America part of the time when there's a Democrat in. I mean, I don't get it. Ramon says, remember that Democrat said to believe all women. Pepperidge Farms remembers. Yeah. Well, you're right about that. They said to believe all women, but they didn't. And we all said they're full of shit. The reason that Plattner's out is because Collins was going to beat him. It was clear. The polling showed that people didn't want any more scandals. The Mainers were not going to vote for somebody with scandals. And these guys, I don't know, these guys are, I just don't know that they're going to be squeaky clean either. And I think that they're going to be caught with problems. That's my thought. Also, I found out most of our city council members are on the payroll of Act Blue. City council is supposed to be nonpartisan. Oh, really? I didn't know the Hawaiian City Council. Honolulu City Council is nonpartisan. That's amazing. I love nonpartisan things. I really do. But Act Blue, that's the Chinese influence. This whole thing goes back to Neville Roy Singham, right? We know that. We used to think that it was the Greek there, the Hungarian there. But it turns out it's Neville Roy Singham. He's the one who's trying to control America through China. Really, really interesting. Kevin Young says they should have put poison in his sandwich. Oh, yeah. Well, I just don't know that actually happened. That's my 2 cents. I mean, I know that it's been reported, but so much AI is out there. I just don't know why they would all go to Katz's Deli. You know what I mean? So I'll investigate, though, and let you know tomorrow. All right. Here's Trump on Iran. This one you got to. This why I love him.
Have been determined, and some things haven't, frankly. We attacked very powerfully last night the very dangerous people from Iran. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. We said, go and do your funeral stuff. And instead of that, they start shooting rockets at ships yesterday. And so we hit them very hard last night, very hard. I would say 20-1, 20 times tougher. And I told them every time you hit, we hit. And of course they're dirty players, so they go after everyone, probably including me. I've been number one on their list for years. And they're a bunch of scum, you want to know the truth. They're scum. And so we don't like them. I don't like them. And they're evil people, and it's the denuclearization of Iran. And we're going to denuke it. We're not going to let them because they're crazy, and they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they go around killing people. They've killed thousands and thousands of our soldiers. They've killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people. They had the roadside bomb, Soleimani. I took care of him first term. And that was a big thing because I think they probably would be a lot stronger had he been around because he was a bad guy, but he was an evil genius, but a bad guy. And he was the father of the roadside bomb. The roadside bomb is a bomb that goes on when you're driving your little vehicle around, and it goes on and you have no legs, no arms, and no face. And they've killed thousands and thousands of people. Even the SS Cole was theirs. You know, if you remember that disaster. So I don't like them at all. And frankly, I think we waste a lot of time with them. I think we should just do our business. Can you imagine? They start shooting bombs, actually missiles at ships yesterday. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, a couple of others. And they don't. I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. But they're bad people, very bad people. I think they're incompetent, by the way. Because if they were competent, they would have made a deal a long time ago. Like, how about 47 years ago? So they've been in trouble for 47 years, and we took out their first set of leaders. We took out their second set of leaders. They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list. I saw a thing this morning. I'm on every single one of their lists. And so far, I guess I've been a little bit lucky, but that maybe doesn't last very long because that's the way it goes. But we have great people. But these are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Their cancer. And you know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early.
Evil, sick people, scum, cancer. I love him. I absolutely love him. He doesn't mince words. And all signs are pointing to NATO getting on board and helping America with Greenland and NATO taking over the defense of the Strait of Hormuz, and as it should be, because we don't need them. Russia is having a problem. Trump seems to be working really well with Zelensky. He's doing more for Ukraine than Biden ever did. The strategies that they're coming up with are fantastic. And Zelensky was able to create that anti-drone system. So they're be able to defend themselves against drone, which they're sharing with America, and they're top notch in developing drones. So pretty good stuff going on here. I mean, Trump has positioned himself really well, but the Democrats, the very interesting new talking point, and I've heard it from some moderate Democrats too, which is just killing me, is that if Trump wants to fight socialism, then he needs to condemn. He needs to stop coddling Putin and Xi. I just don't understand what they're talking about. The guy is fighting in the backyard, in our backyard, protecting our backyard from invasion of Russia and China in South America. And he got condemned for that. What the hell are they talking about? Do they want Trump to say, Putin is no good, Xi is no good? He said it. When he gets pissed at people, he calls them out. I mean, Iran is scums and evil people and all that other stuff. And he has said the same with Xi and Putin. What do they want him to do? Not talk to them? what do these sophisticated Democrats who seem to claim to want peace, what do they want him to do? Start a war with them? Well, he basically is one-upping them. So, stop with that talking point because it really doesn't work well. Let's see. We have Ramon says once Plattner is out, the people who back him and endorse him are coping and telling people to shut up with their plan when their plan backfires. So supposedly the Democrat Party today set up a system where there would be a 600-person convention to pick the replacement. Plattner was demanding that he be able to pick his own replacement, and the main Democrat state chairman said absolutely not. It wasn't going to go that way. You have nothing left to add. The consultants who if you recall, probably about a month just before the convention, the main primary, we had clips of the consultants who were giggling and up-talking and weird, who were talking about Plattner and said that they did a background check and giggled when asked if they did a background check and whether this stuff showed up. They're out on their ass. That's the guy and the girl. They're I think he's going to Harvard, and they're engaged. I forget their names. Annoying as fuck. Yeah, so I understand they got kicked to the curb. But they're, part of the whole socialist movement and this whole Roy Neville Singham thing. So supposedly that's what's going to happen. And in a convention, as you know, delegates vote, and supposedly the main Democrat Party will have control of it and be able to guide it to whomever they want. But I don't know. Let's see who is allowed in and who's not allowed in. I think that's going to be interesting. Who are these 600 people? And is this going to be where the socialists and the Democrats face off with one another? It's worth watching what's going on in Maine. Kevin James says, how did Mamdani manage a raise for himself in the city council? Well, because that's what socialists do. They turn authoritarian almost instantly. And that was the city council. He could have said no, but he didn't. But that leap from socialism to authoritarian happened fast in New York City. Santillian, well, I will be attending the Honolulu Police Department Citizens Police Department August for 13 weeks. None of the elected officials care to attend and still want to defend the department. Honolulu is the only department that was attacked by a foreign country. It's true. Pearl Harbor. Defund the department. Sorry, spell check. Okay. Defend. Okay, defund. Got it. Lucille loves Trump. How could you not? America has its balls back. Thank the Lord. Trump is calling out to countries who don't take responsibility in helping America, since NATO is not helping America, but want America to help them. NATO and other countries which that mentality are freeloaders. Listen, in World War II, Europe was everything. Europe's not everything in 2026. America is everything. And we have to start acting like we're everything, because Europe, they've all been colonized by Muslims. It's a great part of the great plan to, undo America and undo the West. So, Santillian says Ukraine war is the testing ground for defense contractors at the expense of lives. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Ramon says the same problem between the political party and the grassroots. Always the same problem. That's the insider stuff, right? That's what we're having a problem right now with the swamp. What Trump is going through has got nothing to do with specifically Democrats. The swamp is selling him out. If the Republicans that were in office right now could unify, we'd have the the Save America Act passed. We would have birthright citizenship. Okay, Supreme Court says amend the Constitution, not necessary. We could get through with legislation saying that it's illegal for this like vacation citizenship that now Texas is advertising in Mexico, come to this hospital and your baby will be born an American citizen. And by the way, I think that is going to be a lawsuit that is going to change the Supreme. It's going to do something. It's going to do something. Either change the Supreme Court's decision or set a precedent or something. But yeah, because they actually made that advertisement, I think that that's what's going to go get us back into the court system on that. Angela says, I guess he's not my kind of man, according to Pocahontas anymore. Those Democrats flip more than a stack of pancakes, a bunch of losers. Yeah, listen, it's all about power, and they don't give a shit. They'll use anybody. But so will the Republicans. So, we're not much better. Right? That's why patriots is all I care about. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I care if you're a patriot. Socialism will fail. Seattle is going broke. It always fails, but people forget that. All right. Listen, I went over by 11 minutes and I love hanging out with you guys. I hate that I'm not hanging out with you guys as many days as I used to, but we're getting there. Mom is doing much, much better. So hopefully she'll be on the show soon. I'm going to let Ramon have the last word. The problem when it comes to helping others, it's okay to help others in need willingly, but when they start taking advantage of that, the line has to be drawn and pull out of it. Well, we have that situation in America, right? I mean, all those people came over the border. We were helping people in need. Now we're inviting them over as part of a scam. And, I can't. Okay, Santillion gets the last word. I see 500,000 lawsuit coming on my victim case. Good for you. Let's all pray for Santillion. Let him get his money. All right, we will see you tomorrow at 8. I'm sure more stuff is coming. I'll dig into the Mamdani and Katz Deli story and we'll report on it tomorrow. Love you all. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock.